Hello everyone, welcome back to Simproved, Fry speaking here, and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build for the Tiny Living Stuff Pack that is out now. And I cracked the code, guys. I know how to tell the game it's a micro home, but it isn't. It's a huge micro home, but you get all the benefits there are for micro homes, which is the 32 tiles. This year is just apparently 25 tiles big. It's absolutely beautiful, like a huge modern Scandinavian converted barn. I hope you're gonna like this as well. So without further ado, let's get started. So we start with the tiny living micro home setting, or at least a tiny residential setting that you can do if you have the tiny living stuff pack, and also it is out now if you want to get it. And yeah, this also uses only base game and tiny living, and since there are some restrictions about how big a house can be to get the tiny little house, residential, whatever name, and special bonuses for that house, I thought 32 tiles is a micro home and gets the most benefits, like you gain quicker skills, you have better gardening, basically you're a superhuman sim then, because you also get like faster relationships, blah blah blah. The whole thing gives you so many benefits that I thought it has to be a micro home. So how can we tell the game, hey, this is a micro home, but actually it's huge? Of course I had to, I love to build in The Sims, and of course I wanted to find out like a way to trick the game how to do this. So there's a counter which you can see like this, sometimes red, sometimes blue, kind of little line there that tells you how many tiles you are occupying right now, and if you're still in the tiny living, tiny lot kind of compatibility, whatever it's called. But yeah, we are going to try this, and by the way, we succeed. This only has 25 tiles, which is the second upper floor that you could already see that I placed there, which is just like a floor plate, and the rest is just roofs. It's all just roofs, guys. I tricked the game and told the game that roofs are walls, which they are, of course. I mean, logically they are, kinda. But for the game they aren't, they're roofs and they don't count. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So basically, if I just build a house made out of roofs, I mean, you could really go crazy on a 64 by 64 lot and just put like one huge, like theoretically one huge glass dome down there and like do like a biosphere kind of thing. That would be theoretically a micro home as well if you so wanted it. But I thought, okay, since I wanted to have like these huge loft-like windows, but couldn't go with like a flat roof made out of half walls and all that kind of stuff to trick it, because floor plates are rooms and they will count. I went and got me this barn look. Sometimes I made me some floor plates, so to speak, just to help me out. So I have the grid over there, like here placing the roofs. But just in general, you have to delete them later. And yeah, you can always see the tile count. So that was really cool for building. And I'm really happy that I found this workaround. I will do a little tutorial video how I did this exactly soon. I hope I can do this. I record this today, so it will be out tomorrow or in 2 days. And then you can build this, like you will be a pro in like trying to trick the game that it's a micro home, but it isn't, because it's just roofs. I also found like the other tricks that still work. For example, the game only counts the tiles within a closed room. So if you just put like some walls and then just drag and drop them, it doesn't count as a room, because apparently, yeah, the game is sometimes dumb and we have to kind of exploit that dumbness, you know. This is basically what we're doing right here. And I really liked how it turned out. It doesn't even look that bad in my opinion. It looks like a converted kind of barn thing. I'm not sure exactly. I think this would look really cool as like a penthouse as well. I just wanted to have the benefit, or like making sense, that the plant growth thing, one of the bonuses is like that you get very quicker plant growth or crop growth or whatever it was called. And I was like, okay, so it has to have like a huge garden so your Sims can use that bonus for them. So this is what we are doing here as well. So I wanted to have like lots and lots of free space and land around, or like garden space around, so that your Sims can grow some crops. And then again, the whole barn theme made like sense for a farm or something. So I could also see this being put on like a 64 lot, 64 by 64 lot, or 50 by 50 lot, like the bigger lots. And then you have like a huge farm all around it as well. I myself placed it for Granite Falls, and I can also already tell you that in Granite Falls, that is basically a vacation camping kind of woods and forest kind of area, for those who don't know. Which is basically a rental. So there is no tiny house benefit for rentals so far, which made it like, I really would have loved that. So that's still a no to this. I have asked the devs if they're going to implement this for rentals, so to speak, hotels, or, you know, basically how Solani lots can work and how Granite Falls lots can work. Or was it Salvadorada? Salvadorada lots, yeah. And I wanted them to have like the tiny house effect as well, because it affects apparently how bigger the skill gain is and how quickly they make friends, etc. So there's like so many bonuses for tiny houses that it really makes sense to build a tiny house. I also think that tiny houses are amazing now for starting off your family, you know. First of all, you don't have like this weird ass wonky, oh my god, I have to go to the toilet, now my sim has to walk 5 sim hours, because they are quite slow. Like, let's just so much walking. It's so much walking in these huge houses. So I myself love to play in smaller houses, and this is fairly big already here, but the bigger layout, like the open space layout, also makes them, you know, just run through kinda, and I like that a lot. So that was kind of like a cool thing to have. And I definitely love these huge loft-like spaces. You know that, guys, like that's like my personal favorite. And also the tiny living stuff pack objects kind of look a lot like IKEA, Hygge, you know, like the Scandinavian minimal modern style. And yeah, so I thought that's cool. Let's use that whole thing and do like a Scandinavian modern barn. I think for if you really want to go like Disney-esque, we overdo it with the whole theme, you could go with red and white here. I just didn't, because I personally like the black and white, and then adding features of color, because we have lots and lots of colorful pillows and other textiles, swatches with the textiles on the object, so to speak. So I thought, okay, maybe it all fits together better that way. And yeah, I really liked how it turned out. You can see me fiddling a lot with the roofs, but basically that was just like my personal preference. It was already working, but yeah, I really liked how it turned out in the end. Like, it is quite a cool house in my opinion, and I play tested it, everything is working. And you really do get the benefits that, you know, microhomes get. So this is a 25 tile big microhome, and it isn't, I mean, look at it. It looks so cool. And like the whole, you know, work around with the rooms and stuff is like pretty cool. So this is a thing that you can do now. You can live under roofs. For those who have seasons, I haven't tested it in the winter. I could imagine it in the winter, because it's not like a real room or house with a roof on top. I mean, there is a roof on top, but maybe it affects the, let's just say, how much cold it gets inside, because it's basically outside all the time. I'm not sure, but those who don't have seasons, they are fairly safe here, in my opinion. Like, there can't be anything wrong. Like, that, it should be all right. in my opinion, it looks really cool. I really like the contrast of like the white and black that I chose just for the base layouts and like the base materials for the roofs and the walls, etc. I'm a little bit bummed out that still in base game we don't have really solid black wallpaper. The only wallpaper that is that black that I used as well here is a tiled wallpaper for like a bathroom. So if you have any other pack or just want to change the color in general, I would do that, because it's definitely like tiled wallpaper, but I wanted it to be as black as possible. So I kind of I didn't care at this point. I was just like, I need real black and not this gray shit that they give us in base game. And since in Tiny Living there is only like one door, like that's the only build thing, you know, there's no new windows, no new wallpapers, no new fences or stairs or whatever, only a door, one door, that's it. I was like, okay. Keep calm. It's where is my like tiny windows or something? Like in general, building and with the Tiny Living stuff pack, it fairly just feels like, okay, we have a new implemented feature that is like the tiny house, which is really cool in my opinion. Like I love all the bonuses. They sometimes don't make that much sense in my opinion. Like realistically, why should you gain better plants if you live like in a tiny house? That doesn't make sense, but I guess it's just like an extra that I wanted to give you so that you really have to build tiny. So it's cool, I guess, but it realistically doesn't make sense that, you know, something grows better just because there's a tiny house on the lot. But then in general, that's the only thing that they gave us, which they could have given us like with an update as well, and then make the whole Tiny Living maybe a gameplay pack and give us way more solutions, smart solutions for Tiny Living, like ladders, like smaller stairs, smarter stairs, diagonal stairs, more kind of Murphy beds. I also would have loved to have like a sofa where you just lie on, because Murphy beds are not a thing. Like I've never in real life, in my whole experience, like in my whole life, I've never seen or experienced a Murphy bed. I think it's like a very American thing. In Germany, I would know sofas that you would change into like a bed. That's a thing. That is something that I personally would have loved like to have or to see in like a Tiny Living pack. And definitely more build stuff for making it easier to build tiny, and also for the Sims to have a little bit more room, because like a tiny, like modular stuff as well, like modular couches where it's like just one tiled big piece of one huge couch that you can put together. That would have been cool, you know, more like that stuff would have made, in my opinion, more sense. So that is, but it is a stuff pack. It's usually just $10, I think. It definitely is just €9.99 or something in Europe. So it is like the smallest pack, and usually we only get like, you know, that amount of stuff, which is really nice. But they could have also just called it Scandinavian IKEA stuff or what inspired stuff, and that's it. You know, it's not that much about Tiny Living like the rest of the objects. I don't see why those are like specifically Tiny Living. I love them a lot, and I see this like whole thing being a thing in the Sims community, like the tiny house movement in the Sims has been going on since Sims 4, I guess. You know, was it also like a big thing during Sims 3 times? I don't know. Maybe some can remember, but I used to watch YouTubers and stuff for Sims 4 times, so, and a little bit of Sims 3 as well. Like the end of Sims 3 times, I discovered the whole Sims YouTube stuff, and I didn't even know before. The tiny house movement was quite big there as well already. So this is a thing that for me naturally would have been better as a gameplay pack, because so many Simmers like that Tiny Living, tiny house, you know, concept, or just in general idea, just in general. So I would have loved to see this more like as a gameplay pack or even expansion pack, or implement this whole thing in an expansion pack and kind of have more modular stuff, more smarter, smaller kind of building stuff to make it easier to live and play in a smaller house and build in a smaller house, or build a smaller house in general. You know, that would have been, yeah, way better or smarter to do. But yeah, the whole stuff pack, in my opinion, will be one of the more bought ones because of the whole style with the IKEA and Scandinavian minimal kind of, but still very also colorful swatches. So yeah, the objects are really, really beautiful, and I think that lots and lots of people will like it because people have been asking for IKEA stuff a lot, and it reminds you a lot of IKEA stuff, kind of. And the whole tiny house thing is very popular, so I think also people will try this. But just so you know, guys, it is a really cool stuff pack, but don't like expect so much about tiny houses than just the benefit. Getting the benefit, if you're fairly new to building, I think this is like what I did here is a little bit harder to do, but I will come up with a good tutorial to explain how the whole thing works. And yeah, then just basically download everything from the gallery. By the way, this is up on the Sims 4 gallery, and I will put the download link in the video description as well down below, so you can get it there fairly easy. That's how you say it in English. And yeah, as always, I will put the download link in the description. And yeah, this is my 2 cents about the Tiny Living Stuff Pack. I personally really like some of the objects. I already did a review about this, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna use like lots and lots of times fairly a lot of these objects from that stuff pack. I mean, we have some stuff packs where I still don't know what the hell who is going to use that. And yeah, and there have been so many very disappointing stuff packs, but this one is definitely one where I would say, why is this not a gameplay pack? I want more of this. So I think this is like a badge of honor for a stuff pack to say about. So yeah, I want more of this. I want more of these objects. I want more of these kinds of Scandinavian modern style. I know lots of people are gonna love these objects. And I also want to see more tiny living. My biggest fear is that now that we will never get anything about tiny living again. Like ladders, like so many people want ladders in this game just to make bunk beds or something like that. Or ladders, you know, just to save space. And also stairs are quite expensive in the game. So yeah, where is that? But yeah, here we are already almost at the end of the video, so fairly now we will go into the video tour. And the video tour is always at the end of my videos, so you can get like a better look at everything, because the speed build is always like so quick. And look at this is just beautiful. I filmed this in Granite Falls, like I said as well, and I think there, from my own taste, it fits really well. But I could also see this on the 64 by 64, like a huge lot with like a huge crop field all around. That would be also pretty cool, in my opinion. And yeah, it looks quite cool, kind of weird. I would have loved to put more here, to be honest. But yeah, I wasn't allowed because I really wanted to have that micro home bonus, and only there where this bed is, like the upper floor with the bed, like those are 25 tiles, and therefore it's the micro home. And yeah, I really like that kind of trick a lot, and I'm really happy that it works out in the game as well. And it looks absolutely beautiful and stunning, and it's a huge big space in the inside as well, so that's fairly cool. And I also like the whole swatches, how they all fit together. This is what I mean with just using black and white or grays, so you can have like a nice base for all the colors that you're going to use here. And yeah, I really like it. I would love to live there, honestly. I don't want to know what the heating costs will be, and also like in very warm places this is gonna be hell, because it's just one big bowl of hotness. But yeah, so I think every construction engineer or architect will slap me in the face if they meet me and see this. But yeah, it's The Sims, they don't care. It's probably also not even possible to build this with like these huge glass windows, but yeah, I really like it. I really like the whole stuff pack, honestly, guys. Get it if you consider it. I would say this is fairly one of the best ones. Like, not the really best one. I don't want to put that out there because I'm kind of shy to give like an ultimate decision about this, but it is a really good one. So if you like these objects and if you like the tiny house movement as well, like the benefits are also for gameplay really cool, especially if you want to start like just right now with a new sim, or if you just come into the Sims. It's a really good stuff pack. So yeah, I really hope that you like this. The download for this, you can download this for free, is in the video description down below, guys. Please subscribe to my channel if you like Sims 4 builds like these, or reviews or stuff that is just in general about the Sims or building and simulation games. And yeah, that is basically it. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.